Hi, my name is Tony Pegram, and this is my author study. I chose to do my presentation on author and illustrator Jenny Sue Kostecki Shaw. Jenny Sue's illustration journey began in her early elementary years when her older sister would write poems and Jenny Sue would make illustrations for them. In addition to her siblings and parents, her teachers always encouraged her to express herself through her art and writing. All of her high school teachers, including her history and science teacher, allowed her to be as creative as she wanted with each of her assignments. Jenny Sue's father traveled for work. He was fortunate enough to be able to visit many different places such as India, Africa, Brazil, and more. Her father would return home with currency from every destination. This is part of what inspired Jenny Sue to travel the world as an adult. When Jenny Sue was 19 years old, she left New Mexico to attend college at the Kansas City Art Institute in Kansas City, Missouri. During her junior year, she went to the Illustration Academy to strengthen her artistic talent. It was at this time that she became incredibly passionate about making art. During Jenny Sue's senior year, she pursued an internship with Hallmark. After art school, Jenny Sue was hired to work in the Fresh Ink studio with Hallmark as a greeting card artist. Her coworkers were like family. Her boss even let her bring her pet bird and dogs to work. Throughout the next 7 wonderful years, Jenny Sue learned about printmaking, sculpture, wood carving, pottery, and more. Here are some of her Hallmark greeting card designs. Jenny Sue took a trip to Asia with her friend Maria that would open her eyes to a new world and change her life. She wanted more. So she took a leave of absence from work to volunteer at a small school in a village in Nepal. There was no way she could go back to her office job. Jenny Sue moved back home to the mountains of New Mexico. In 2003, she married her husband, who she continued to travel the world with, and together they began working on freelance illustration. Some of the projects she has illustrated have been books, advertising, toys, home decor, greeting cards, logos, and more. Some of her clients include Henry Holt and Company, QVC, Pottery Barn, Hallmark Cards, American Greetings, and more. Jenny Sue's first book that was published on April 2008 is called My Travelin' I. This is a quote from Jenny Sue regarding her first book. I first thought of the idea for My Travelin' I one day while I was looking at my baby picture taken on the day I was born. My right eye was gazing straight at the camera, and my left eye was looking off to the right. What was I looking at? I've heard that question so many times throughout my life. It has a mind of its own, I say. I remember what it was like being an awkward kid with glasses and a patch and the weekly eye therapy in hopes of fixing my eye. Not all kids feel awkward with glasses and a patch, but I did. Then I began to think of how I could write or paint about my eye so others might understand. Yes, even as an adult, my eye wanders, but I've come to appreciate the wonder it sees. This book is based on my childhood experience with a traveling eye. This book won the New Mexico Zaya Book Award in 2010. This next book by Jenny Sue Kostecki Shaw is called Same, Same, but Different, and this is actually one of my favorite books. This is about a boy named Elliot who lives in America, and Kailash lives in India. They're pen pals. They write letters back and forth and send pictures to each other. Throughout their conversations, they learn that both of them love to climb trees, they both have pets, and they both go to school. Their worlds are very different from each other, but they actually find a lot in common. Through all of her illustrations, this story shows how two boys living oceans apart can be the best of friends. This book was published in September 2011, and it has won many honors and awards, such as the Ezra Jack Keats New Illustrator Award 2012, Ezra Jack Keats New Author Honor 2012, M.D. Frostburg State University Children's Literature Center A, 2012, and the South Asia Book Award, 2012. Another book written and illustrated by Jenny Sue Kostecki Shaw is called Luna and Me. This is a true story of a girl who lived in a tree to save a forest. Once there was a redwood tree, one of the world's largest and tallest trees, and one of the oldest. And once, born nearly 1,000 years after the tree first took root, there was a girl named Julia, who was called Butterfly. One day, exploring her beloved forest, Butterfly wandered into a grove of ancient trees. One tree had broken branches and a big blue X on the side. It was going to be cut down. Butterfly climbed up into the tree. Don't trees have a right to just be? She thought. And she also thought a tree wouldn't be cut down if it had a person living in it. A person who would go on to live in that tree for 2 years. Inspired by Julia Butterfly Hill's courageous fight to save an ancient redwood, Jenny Sue Kostecki Shaw retells this fascinating story for young readers. This book was published in May 2015 and it holds the Santa Monica Public Library Green Prize for Sustainable Literature 2016. Jenny Sue's most recent book is Papa Brings Me the World. This book was published May 2020. Most parents drive a car or ride a bus or a train to work, but not Lulu's Papa. He navigates mountains, deserts, and oceans, each time returning home with pockets full of treasures. There's an ancient calculator from China, a musical mbira from Zimbabwe, and a special game from Sumatra. But the best treasures are special stories Papa tells when he comes home. Tales of playing peekaboo with rare birds in the Andes and befriending dragons in the Irish Sea. This long-distance love story between parent and child celebrates inclusivity, imagination, and the richness of global cultures. This story reminds me a lot of Jenny Sue's childhood, where her father would travel for work, just like Papa did in this story, and bring Jenny Sue home treasures from all the places that he traveled to. Some other illustrations by Jenny Sue. This first book is Chai Pilgrimage, a soul-nourishing tea adventure through northern India. This was written by Patrick Shaw, Jenny Sue's husband. The second book is called The Mother's Wisdom Deck, and there's some really beautiful illustrations throughout this book as shown on the cover. Jenny Sue's Lessons. My Travel and I helps kids understand what it is like to have a wandering eye and can encourage them to also overcome their disabilities. Same but different teaches us that no matter where we are in the world or how different our lives may be, we can always find a way to make connections with each other and find friendships all around even when we aren't the same. Luna and Me teaches not only about the environment and sends the message that we should protect it, but it also teaches us that it's okay to stand up for what we believe in and what we know to be the right thing to do, even if it interferes with the plan. The book titled Papa Brings Me the World embraces and celebrates the uniqueness between different cultures and portrays a positive representation of different lifestyles, as well as traveling to beautiful places through the reader's imagination. These are some of my favorite illustrations out of all of her books. I love these illustrations of this tall redwood tree from Luna and Me. This book is from, or this illustration, I should say, is from Same but Different. And these are the two boys traveling to school. Very different lifestyles, but they have a lot in common. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.